So we were talking about Fosselman's Ice Cream Company. They're located in Alhambra, California. We're going to be talking about their business plan and what they're doing wrong with their inventory. I'm Hector J. Barrios.
I'm Genevieve Conway.
And I'm Chris Garcia. To start, we're going to start with our agenda plan. Is basically we're going to speak about the history. We're going to go over the profile of the company, such as infrastructure, their warehouses, etc. And we're also going to speak about their organizational structure of the firm. We're also going to speak about their problems. We're going to find key findings and data analysis. We're also going to find alternative solutions, and we're going to discuss about the decision matrix, and we're going to end the presentation with our final recommendations. A little bit history about Fosselman Ice Cream Shop is basically they've been around for over 91 years. The company started in 1990 in Pasadena, California. It's basically a family-owned company. The two owners are Christopher Fosselman and John Fosselman. And for the most part, Fosselman is one of the most famous ice creams in Pasadena and is known worldwide.
And then Fosselman's is now in Alhambra as well. They sell it throughout California, mostly Orange County area, Santa Monica, throughout Los Angeles. And they've created a very high revenue for themselves. And like you said before, the grandchildren own it now, and it was previously owned by their grandfather. Oh, and to include, Fosselman started off as a beer company, which is not listed on here, but they thought it was through the Prohibition era, and then now they do ice cream because it's such a good thing to do.
So the profile of the company, you could also find their basic info on their website. They have a own website, which is www.fosselman.com. They have about 20 through 39 employees. Their annual revenue is $5 million to $10 million. As I said, they've been in business for 95 years currently. They're a type of the type of business that they are. They're a frozen dessert product. The SIC is 2024, and the number of the PCs they currently own about 25 through 99. And as we mentioned, it's a small business, and they're trying to keep it that way so they could feel like a family-owned business.
And they are also a distributor, mainly production, but they also have a store up front.
And basically the organization structure of their firm is the owners, which is
Chris and John Fosselman.
Christopher and John Fosselman. Then it's the realtor managers, which is they're in charge of ice cream shop staff, and it leads after to their sales managers, which they are in charge of sales associates. From there, it goes to the product managers and the wholesale managers. And the product managers, they're basically in charge of pre-production staff and post-production staff.
And then as far as the sales managers, they're in charge of the distribution aspect of the whole company. They're the ones that make most of the money for the company because they sell to different restaurants, et cetera, et cetera. For the retail manager, it's mainly for the front of the store, which control all the employees that are serving the ice cream to customers. Wholesale manager kind of controls the sales as well, but they get all the information of what we've sold, of what they've sold, sorry, et cetera, et cetera. as well as the production manager. They're the ones that make the ice cream and have associates under them as well.
And the problem statements, basically, Fossilman Ice Cream is experiencing an inventory problem. They also have, they carry too many absolute ingredients. Another problem that they're not maintaining enough fast-moving items. That's another problem is slow-moving items, that they're abundant. And finally, we're gonna speak more about the non-accounting of materials that they have.
And touching upon the no accounting of materials, we don't have a slide for it, but it's essentially that they are purchasing products to make the ice cream, but they are not keeping inventory of it. So we don't have a slide to distinguish how much they've bought or how much they've sold, etc., etc. Yeah. So as far as the obsolete items, we chose one flavoring that they had. We chose their bacon flavor, which is not as popular as most flavors are. We show that in the beginning of 2013, that they started off with 5 units in storage. The unit per price throughout the year stayed constant at $125. Storage cost per unit is $10 for the year of 2013. Total cost came out to $640. It shows right here. 2014, they continued to buy more product, which ended up increasing their inventory, and they did not sell it, so they just kept buying. Price per unit stayed the same. Storage increased a little more because throughout the years, inflation. The total cost increased. And then long story short, in 2016, they ended up with 18 without selling what they had previously. So it increased their total cost to $2,283. So as we can see here on the graph, throughout the years it increases, which means they are essentially losing money and not gaining anything from it. So that's one of their main problems of their obsolete ingredients. Their fast-moving items, and we started off in 2013 as well, and then in 2016, their inventory was good at the time. Their sales were meeting with their inventory. They were still okay on inventory. They never ran out. In 2014, same case scenario where the inventory was still abundant. Their sales were meeting with the inventory. Skipping 2015, it's pretty similar. In 2016, we see a bad trend where their inventory is lower than their sales. So essentially meaning they do not have enough inventory to match up their sales. As we can see here in the graph, the blue line represents the inventory, the red line represents the sales. As we can see in 2013, the sales is below. Inventory is starting to meet up with the sales in 2016. Eventually, the inventory is below the sales. So meaning that this year they had to go out of their way to buy inventory because they ran out of inventory at the current year. So meaning they spent more money and lost in sales. Go back really quick. So if they continue with this trend, they will keep losing money and will not make more money, which we see as a problem in their inventory as well. For their slow-moving items, it's essentially the same thing, just opposite. In 2013, their inventory was abundant and their sales were below. In 2016, their inventory was too high and their sales were not matching up with their inventory. So what they need to do is that they need to buy less inventory for this product because it's not selling as often. If they continue with this trend, the gap will increase and they will continue to lose money.
So the key findings of our data: the absolute items, obsolete items are causing an abundance of inventory, and the items are not being accumulated throughout the year. Their fast-moving items are the items that are going quickly and making sales. The rate of Fossilman's, the rate that they're going is basically they're not gonna have enough inventory to cover what they have. Fossilman's began at a good rate of inventory with their inventory and sales, but as the years increase, they're not really changing their practices and they're not being accurate. So our alternative solutions is one, hiring an outside company to do their inventory, or two, that we can do software to help them keep track of what comes in and what goes out, and three, to institute a SKU system.
Yeah, the problem with Fossilman's as well is they don't have a SKU system in their company, so therefore they don't really know what they have at the certain time. So someone can essentially steal something and they wouldn't know what left the store. So it creates a big problem with the inventory because they have no clue what they have.
So we did a decision matrix. We took two companies that do inventory, one that's more on the high end, one a little more reasonable price, and we used two different software types. Again, same idea, one a little bit more common, one that actually it's free, and one that you have to pay for. And then we went with the WASP barcode technology, where they barcode everything and get everything for you. So we put everything in, we developed the criteria, we have how much the payment is, that's a big deal to them. And we have a security issue because we don't want this information getting out, so that's pretty high. Training, because people are in the store are gonna have to maintain this. Also, the equipment, I mean, it's not really that big because it's mostly computers. Technology, it's not all that big of a deal to them as well. Support, that's a little bit up there because you want to know if you're having problems with it, you can get support. And upkeep. So when we put all that in, all the information, and rated them, this is what we came up with. According to the decision matrix, the AIS Advanced Inventory System was the best, and they're the company, they'll come in, they'll do everything for you, count your inventory, set it up, and give you a nice idea of how to maintain this. So.
And it would be very beneficial for them as well because they would essentially be making more money and they would be able to keep up with their inventory and not lose out on any obsolete items, slow moving items, etc., etc.
So, our final recommendations to Fossilman's Ice Cream Company is to hire AIS, Advanced Inventory Solutions, to implement and maintain their inventory accounting system. However, Fossilman's has proven to be adverse to outsiders, so we would recommend as an alternative solution to be, as supported by the matrix, WASP technology barcodes. And WASP will come in, set up the inventory system, train the current employees, and be available to make alterations and troubleshoot for the first 6 months at no extra charge.
Like I said, it would be very beneficial to implement